Hello everyone! Today I will be presenting on the world of autism stimming. This topic is especially important in education because it helps us better understand and support students with autism in the classroom. In today's classrooms, you may notice students engaging in behaviors such as hand flapping, rocking, bouncing, and even shaking their hands as if they are trying to air dry them. These behaviors are often misunderstood, but they are actually known as stimming or self-stimulatory behavior. Stimming plays an important role in helping students regulate their emotions, sensory input, and attention. Rather than being a distraction, these behaviors often help students feel comfortable and ready to learn. You ask why this topic matters. Stimming is often misinterpreted as disruptive behavior in classrooms. Because of this misunderstanding, students may be discouraged from engaging in behaviors that actually help them learn. This can negatively impact their ability to focus, feel safe, and succeed in school. That is why it is so important for educators to understand what stimming is and why it happens. This topic is important because, based on my personal experience working with children with autism, through my observations, I noticed that stimming looks different for every student. Some students use movement, while others may make sounds or interact with objects. This made me realize how important it is for educators to understand and support these behaviors rather than trying to stop them. What is stimming? Stimming, also known as self-stimulatory behavior, refers to repetitive movements, sounds, or actions. These behaviors help individuals regulate their emotions and sensory experiences. Some common examples include rocking, hand flapping, and repeating sounds or words. Stimming is often used as a way to cope with overwhelming environments or to maintain focus during tasks. Why do individuals stim? Stimming is not random. It serves an important purpose. It helps with emotional regulation, allowing students to calm themselves when they are anxious or overwhelmed. It also supports sensory regulation, helping individuals manage too much or too little sensory input. In addition, stimming can be a way to express feelings, especially for students who may have difficulty communicating verbally. Finally, it can help improve focus and attention during learning activities. There are many different types of stimming, and each one is connected to the senses. These include hand flapping, for example, moving fingers vigorously, finger flicking, and or moving their arms. These movements can be triggered by the child being excited, nervous, fidgeting, and also having decreased body movements. Verbal or auditory stimming, such as repeating sounds, tapping of ears, and snapping of fingers. This can also impact a child's sense of hearing and even affect communication. Visual stimming, like watching patterns, they could be staring blankly at objects, lining up objects like toys, and even turning the lights on and off. Tactile stimming, involving touch, tapping fingers repeatedly, rubbing or scratching of hands, and even opening and closing their fist. Vestibular stimming, which includes movement like spinning or rocking and even hanging upside down. And taste or smell-related stimming, for example, licking hand or objects and tasting unusual things. Each type serves a purpose depending on the individual's needs. Stimming is closely connected to sensory integration, which refers to how we process sensory information from the environment. Individuals with autism may be either oversensitive or undersensitive to sensory input like sounds, lights, or touch. For example, a student who is overwhelmed by noise might use stimming to block out that input. On the other hand, a student who needs more stimulation may use stimming to stay alert and engaged. In this way, stimming helps manage sensory experiences and supports attention. Stimming is also a form of self-regulation. It helps individuals reach what is often called a just right state, where they feel calm, focused, and ready to learn. Movement-based stimming, like rocking or bouncing, can either calm the body or increase alertness depending on what the student needs. This shows that stimming is not just a behavior, it is a tool that supports the nervous system. There are many misconceptions about stimming. It is often seen as bad behavior or something that should be stopped. However, stimming is not harmful in most cases, and it is not always distracting to others. In fact, it often supports learning by helping students regulate themselves. Understanding this can change how we respond as educators. There are many different strategies as educators can do. It is important to support students who stim rather than discourage them. We can allow safe stimming in the classroom and provide tools such as fidget toys and/or sensory objects. For example, squeeze toys, slime, clay, putty, fidget blocks that make clicking sounds, and even soft plush toys. Offering movement breaks can also help students regulate their energy levels. In addition, adjusting the environment, such as reducing noise and lowering the lights, can minimize sensory overload. Educators play a key role in supporting regulation. It is important to stay calm, avoid punishment, and try to understand the reason behind the behavior. Using co-regulation, where adults help students manage their emotions, can be very effective. This might include using a calm tone, supportive body language, and helping students feel safe. We have learned that stimming is a form of self-regulation. It supports learning, not disrupts it. Understanding leads to better support in the classroom. Educators play a critical role in ASD students' daily support. In conclusion, stimming is a meaningful and important behavior. It plays a key role in helping individuals regulate their emotions and sensory experiences. Rather than viewing it as a problem, educators should recognize it as a tool that supports learning. In light of the information gathered through my studies, it becomes apparent that as an educator, it is essential to realize the importance of stimming and responding to a learner's behavior in a proper way. By understanding and supporting stimming, we can create more inclusive and supportive classroom environments. Thank you for listening to my presentation on stimming. This topic has helped me better understand how to support students, and I hope it does the same for you. Please see the next 2 slides for my references.